What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just got my new injectors, they rocked up the other day, so I'm just going to pull the old ones out, put the new nozzles in. I've obviously made a bit of a start, just getting everything loose that I needed to. So I'll show you around the engine bay. So I've actually had to pull out the wiper motor to get this cowling loose. I need the clearance to get injector number 4 out, but I'll show you what I've had to do here. So to get the return line off, there's this little C-clip that sits over there. So just flick that C-clip off and then you can pull the return line straight up. Unplug the injectors, just pull that yellow clip back and they just slide off the side there. The fuel line, just loosen off those union nuts. They're pretty tight, but once you crack them, you can undo them by hand, and then you need a 10mm to get these the injector brackets loose. So I'll just finish taking out these this fuel line, and I'll loosen these off, and hopefully the injectors just pull straight out. All right, try to get this first injector out. Undo that union, put it over there. I'll tuck that away. Get a 10mm on this one here. And I'm hoping this is just going to pull straight up. All right, first one was pretty easy. Second one came straight out as well. Third one seems to be stuck. All right, just pulled the first injector out, came straight out. Second injector, straight out. I'm just writing on the writing the cylinder number on the injector so I don't get them mixed up. Now this third injector was a little bit stuck when I tried to pull it out before. That one might be a problem. All right, well, it's actually the next week now. Injectors number 1 and 2 came straight out as soon as I undid those bolts. Number 3 and 4 though were completely stuck. Tried levering them out, tried getting some pliers in there to try and wiggle it, couldn't get them out. So ended up making up a bit of a slide hammer. So I'll just show you this one. So 14mm spanner, just cut off with a bit of round bar, and then yeah, slide hammer on there. So brought this in, still couldn't get number 3 out, so I skipped number 3, went to number 4, and number 4 came straight out, and that allowed me to get a shifter on the back of number 3 and wiggle it. And then as soon as I cracked it, I was able to get number 3 out with a slide hammer. So I'll just show you what number 1 injector looks like. It's obviously pretty clean, didn't have any issues with that. But number 4 and number 3, I'll show you now. You just see how pitted and corroded. Might put up a photo that I took as soon as they came out, but I think because that engine's leaning back a little bit, all the water pools at the back, and then the seals just lets a little bit of water in and corrodes over time. But I changed the nozzles change the nozzles on these. So just had a long socket on the injector, put it in a vise, cracked that cap, the cap came off, and then just carefully pull the old nozzle off, put the new nozzle on. Just got to make sure you line up there's 3 holes. When you take that cap off, put them on the same way, and then torque that cap back down to, it might have been 37 Newton meters. I'll check that and I'll put it up on the screen. But anyway, I'm just going to start putting these injectors back in, and I'll torque them up. So I'll just change the camera angle because the last one I gave you was a bit average to see me pulling injector number 1 and 2 out. Alright, so I had all these injectors numbered. So I'm just going to start putting these back where they belong. Obviously each injector is coded to that specific cylinder. So just make sure it goes back in the right hole. I did clean out cylinder 3 and 4 when I got those injectors out. Just blew them out with a bit of compressed air. Obviously there was a fair bit of rust on those injectors, so I just wanted to make sure there was nothing that was going to drop into the cylinder whilst I was pulling them out. And there's some rubber seals on top of each cylinder. I just put a bit of oil on them, keep them well lubricated. And yeah, obviously you've seen I had to relocate this windshield wiper cowling, just to get that clearance to be able to pull out number 4. I don't think I filmed pulling that out, but I'll show you when I put it back in, so you can see how that came out. But it's pretty straightforward, just a couple of 10mm bolts and pull that wiper motor out. Anyway, I'll tighten these up and then turn the camera back on when I'm ready to torque them up. Alright, so just going to torque these to 32 Newton meters. Alright, that's them all torqued to 32 Newton meters, so I'll reconnect the fuel rail, plug the injectors back in, put the return line back on, and that should be it. Alright, I'm just going to nip these up with the spanner before I get the torque wrench on them. These get torqued to 30 Newton meters. I'm just using a 17mm to get these done up. That should be the injectors done. It was pretty daunting pulling the caps off the injectors. Obviously there's some pretty intricate components in there, but once I got it apart, it was actually pretty straightforward. This last one's going to be tricky to get. I'll just do this last one up by feel. It's a bit hard to get in there with the torque wrench, so when I start it up, I'll check for leaks and make sure it's not leaking. All right. Reconnect all these, push the yellow pin back. Just got to put the return line back on. Might just get a bit of diesel and lubricate those O-rings before I reconnect that. All right, push that last fuel return on. Now I'll just go get the C-clips and show you what these C-clips look like. Clip them in. That's the injectors all back in where they belong. All right, so these are the little C-clips for the fuel return. So they just slip over there, then clip in. I actually didn't see them when I started pulling the injectors out, and I started taking these clips up here off, but quickly realised that's what I wasn't supposed to be pulling off, and found those C-clips, so put these back on. And that'll be the injectors all finished. Obviously won't know that they're working until I go to start the car, so I'll have to finish the turbo manifold first. I might give that a crack now. It's getting a bit late, but I might just pull these bolts off and see how we go. All right, may as well show you how I pulled this windshield cowling out, because I don't think I'm going to need to get access to that again. Obviously had to pull that out to get to injector number 4. Which I won't need to get to again. I did have to pull the washer fluid. There's just a grommet there. I just had to pull that out and pull that bit of hose through. Put this aircon line back on that stud where that belongs. All right, so just 3 bolts per side to put that windshield cowling back in, and then 1 on either side back here. So anyway, I'll get this windshield motor back in. All right, so just reconnect that plug and drop that in. Nut on here, and there's a bolt down here, and another one up on this side. I just emptied the Ziploc bag. And we've got 1 nut left. Don't love that. Don't really know where that's from, but I'll have a look around and see if I can work it out. I just worked out what that nut's for. It's to hold this aircon line up against the windshield cowling, so that's good. No bolts left. All right, so just slide the the plastic cowling in from engine bay. There's just a whole heap of plastic clips to go back in. Need to order a new clip for that one there. Snapped that when I was taking it apart. A lot of these weight clips are pretty brittle, so probably not a bad idea to replace all of them. That all just clips in place, which is pretty straightforward. And that's it. So put the wipers back on. Geez, the car's going to need a wash. After sitting in the driveway for so long. All right, so the wipers pretty much just slide on. Check that is all aligned properly. There's just a nut. The shaft that the wipers sit on is it's got a bit of knurling on it, so the wipers have something to grip to. But I'll just tighten that up. Check it's in the right spot. Which is all good. There's just a little black cap that sits over there. Do the same with this one. Check that's sitting in the right spot still. Tighten that up and that's it. Also, there's these trim pieces that just sit on the side. So there's 2 tabs that slip in there. 1 clip. That's it. All right, well that's where I'm going to leave the injector install. Tomorrow I'm going to start on the installing the turbo. So yeah, hopefully don't have any dramas there. Injectors were pretty straightforward. Obviously number 3 and 4 were a bit of a drama to get out, but slide hammer got them out eventually. But yeah, stay tuned for the turbo installation. If you like the video and leave a comment down below. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Cheers.